fuddy-duddy teenagers and kids, but let me tell you something. I love you. And you know I do. But what is going to take place when these young people get to the point of where they can make the decision for themselves, and they go down to the tattoo parlor and they say, knowing in their heart that it's wrong, but the church said it's okay. And you say, when did the church say it was okay? During Bible school. And I don't care if it came with the material from the Southern Baptist Convention. It's still wrong. It's still wrong. The devil is just turning out the light, people. He's just dimming the switch. And we're swallowing it whole and accepting these things. And in doing so, we are resting our souls in His fate. The most comfortable position that I can find in my life is not in my lovely wife's arms. Isn't that unfortunate? Pain? She can tell you where I find the most comfort in my home, at rest. When I can find the most rest and the most peace, where is it? In my 20-something-year-old recliner. We've been decorating our home for over 20-something years to the color of that recliner. Ask my wife. She'll tell you the truth. I'm not lying to you. It's the same color as the chairs that you were sitting in. We've been decorating. The decor of our den is to the color of that recliner. I've been putting bolts and nuts in that thing for a long time. It's broken down. When something breaks on it, I'll flip it over, pull the springs back together, tie it together with baling wire, whatever it takes. It ain't going nowhere. That's my place. I can best rest. Unfortunately, most of our churches today look like me when I'm sitting in that recliner. We've come to a position of rest and solitude. And in some cases, we don't give a hoot what's taking place out there in the world. And if we're a part of the church and a member of the church, we ought to give a hoot. In this passage of Scripture, there are several things here. I hadn't even got out the introduction yet. Let me move these cards so I can get on to the outline. First of all, there's a charge that Amos places against the spiritual complacency that we find here in the very first statement. Woe to you who are at ease in Zion. God, you've heard me say so many times, God has blessed you and I and North Walthamburg Baptist Church and every other church in this community to the point that we've taken Him for granted. Think about it. I shared with the deacons this morning. There are some times when I go for a day maybe and I miss reading the Word of God. God help me. I'm a pastor. That shouldn't happen. What about you? That command's just not for pastors and preachers of the world. That we should attend to our nourishment and our relationship with God. That is for you also. But God help me and help the leaders of this country when we find ourselves coming to rest to the point that we forget the power of God and where our spiritual power comes from. And that's the reason many of our churches today are weak and sick, because of our leaders standing in the pulpits today and preaching hogwash. Yes. That absolutely has nothing to do with the spiritual power of one Almighty God and what He has done for us and what He is doing and what is He going to do. Let me tell you something. The charge of complacency was woe unto them. The condition of complacency there is described in verse 4, 5, 6, where it talks about the customs, dress, perfumes, and the riches. Look around you, people. We have the best that this world has to offer. If you don't think, November, the first week in November, there's a group leaving this church. A medical team going to Honduras. Go over there, you can catch you some Honduras virus. And after a week or two over there, you will appreciate the United States and all of the necessities and all of the niceties that you have. When you can walk into your kitchen or your bathroom and turn on the tap water and just put your cup under there or cup your hands and drink that water and not have to worry about getting sick or a Honduran virus or any other third world country for that matter. I'm sure Gary and Adrian will tell you the same when they get back from Africa. We have the best this world has to offer. We have the best that God has to offer. He is so good. He is so great. And we take him for granted. They enjoyed the richest food, the rarest of delicacies. I noticed in the paper, and that's unfortunate, that Tammy Faye Baker had died of cancer. Someone made mention of the Waffle House this morning in a joking manner. I thought, as they said that, I said, you know, death is not something you want to joke about. But I know that she was into the rarest of delicacies. The comment was that I hope you didn't own stock in the makeup company that she bought from, because it's certainly going down. Many of our churches today are feasting on the delicacies of God. And we're not. It has allowed us to build ourselves up with pride instead. Not thankful. We're not concerned. We're not repentant. Israel was in the situation of pursuit of pleasure. Did you notice there in verse 6 that they drank their wine not out of glasses? They drank it out of bowls. What does that say to you? It talks about the abundance of pleasures that they had. It talks about the abundance of blessings that they had. And the United States is right there with them. We have the abundance of blessing poured out upon our lives each and every week. Which one of you caused it to rain Saturday morning? When it's been so hot, I heard James Pope the other night pray specifically in the blessing for the food and prayed about this heat that we had and taking place. And God, we need some refreshing rain. I said, God, amen. And he said it, not you. Amen. How many of you stopped Saturday morning long enough to say, God, thank you that you sent that rain? I dare say 10% of us. We just took it for granted. And God was supposed to send it because we are special people. In some way, we kind of feel like Israel. We are special.